How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a fairly informal should you summon video. This one about tomorrow's special ancient summoning banner for Morrigan and Alistair. I finished a long live stream a couple hours ago. We peaked at over 500 concurrent viewers. We were over 400 the whole time. I only tell that to inform you that a lot of people were in the stream and a lot of people were asking me if they should summon on this banner, and I can read between the lines. Essentially, those people were asking me, can I summon on this banner? Please, I want to use my ancient summons. If you're asking me for permission, that's not my role, but also no, you shouldn't summon on this banner. There's a couple instances in which you could, and I'll walk you through it. This is gonna be really informal, no intro, no nothing, except for a Smileone ad. If you are once again looking to get your pay to win on and do a little spending this weekend, it's probably best to save some money and get some free bonus rewards while you do so. This video is sponsored by Smileone, the official third-party payment platform for Watcher of Realms. They offer long-term 10% discounts on all W Gold purchases, and on top of that, we also have this cumulative top-up event. If you spend 1 W Gold, you get the first rebate items you see there. As you hit all those total W Gold spent milestones, you get every subsequent tier of those rebate reward items, all the way up to spending nearly 2,000 US dollars worth of W Gold, but then you get all the rewards. It is cumulative, it is not single top up. That is a key thing to know. Happy Halloween. These Smileone deals are currently only available in the following regions: Russia, the United States, the EU, Indonesia, the Philippines, Taiwan, Korea, and Hong Kong. As always, guys, I am not telling you to spend. What I am saying is, if you are already planning to do so, use my link to save money with discounted rates and get bonus top-up rewards for free. And of course, by using my link, you will be supporting me while doing so. So, be sure to use my exclusive link in the description of this video and the top pinned comment. Thank you, Smileone, for sponsoring this video. I'm just going to talk you through these characters, but overall, I've gone over this in the past. You can watch it when we had gone on Rate Up, and I just said, should you ever summon? Basically posing the question, when it comes to ancient summoning banners, should you ever summon? If it's not Kratos, or Ingrid, or Yovar, or Valderon, or something that elite, I really think the answer is no. Maybe even Yovar shouldn't be in that mix. Certainly Morrigan is not, so let's kick it off with her. Morrigan is one of two legendary cultist lords. The cultists are having a little glow up, nothing like what's been going on with the Watchguard, but you know, they're getting more play, especially in things like Guild Wars, and that is led by Morrigan. She probably is the best lord. It's between her and Demi. It's about how you evaluate the hero. If you saw my video with Slate, I actually rank Demi higher, but I know a lot of people prefer Morrigan. That comes down to the fact that her Lord skill is very simple, it is non-conditional, and it's very good. She's got the standard thing like any cultist lord. Her allies will do increased damage to targets inflicted with any crowd control effect. This is slow, stun, freeze, immobilize, so on and so on. 30% boosted damage. Super duper strong. Combine that with the last part, this is what's different than Demi. She increases her faction team members' AoE damage by 25%. This is the AoE faction. Any significant hero in this basically is dealing AoE damage. So it's saying if they're inflicted with a crowd control effect, damage up 30%. And also here's an extra 25 because you're probably doing AoE all the time. That's great for Morrigan. It's great for her faction. It's very nice. Demi's is a 12% increase to all damage, not just AoE damage, which stacks up to 3 times every time an enemy in her range dies. So she doesn't have to kill him, but the enemy has to die. Good for AoE content, but far less reliable. You always need 2 kills in a particular time span to allow for that to even be close to Morrigan, so to be 24%. If you can consistently have 3 enemies dying a lot, then yeah, it will be better. It will be 11% better. But overall, the vast majority of us prefer this skill. That being said, Morrigan's kit, damage, good against ground units, not that good. Just AoE, she does her curse bomb. It's continuous magic damage. She does it from her basic attacks with some chance. Her ultimate, she does new waves of the curse bombs. Then what do we have over here? We got some ground effect bonus. She detonates the bombs, extra AoE, focusing on ground effect, and then she can ramp up her damage as the battle goes on. It's a very, very basic kit. She doesn't have any crowd control effect, which I think is a huge oversight since she is a legendary lord of the crowd control faction. Cultist is very much the crowd control, the anti-heal, and the AoE faction, and she only has the AoE. And it's not even that good. I mean, she's very much outpaced by a lot of other legendary heroes, so very often you're not going to end up deploying her. I've had Morrigan forever, right? She's my first legendary lord and the only one I had for half the time I've played this game. She is Mommy Morrigan. A lot of people, we debate for fun. I bring it up, who's the hottest character in the game. To this day, it's still Morrigan. There's not much to discuss, so if you want a hot chick for your Pokédex, go after it. But aside from that, she's a cool lord. She is not even close to the level of the quality of lords you should be targeting on an ancient summoning banner. She shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as some of those guys. And it's a faction that's not super meta, even if it is on the come up. I don't see you going for her. The big place you're going to use her is buffing your cultists units. So like Gear Raid 4, aka Gear Dungeon 1. She's great there. Her damage still sucks though if you get to the later stages, but she'll be an amazing lord. Best lord skill in the game for that in my opinion. But Demi's still going to be better because she can be deployed and she's actually an incredible hero for Gear Raid 4. And then there's Gear Raid 1, obviously, where she's great. I mean, the damage, it's really, really suboptimal, but she's an incredible lord to have for that, for your Virna or even your Honora, so on and so on. The reason a lot of people are going to try to make excuses because they want to summon and say, fine, I wouldn't be upset with Morrigan, is she's getting a decent amount of play in GVG. If you're in very, very high-end GVG, then she's on some impossible teams alongside Reeve. But typically, if you're not on like a top 10 guild team, top 15 guild team, and by the way, if you are on one of those, if you're on one of those guilds that's in a top 10 or 15 placement in GVG, I'd be pretty shocked if you don't have Morrigan. She's been out forever. To be in those guilds, you need to have a blessed roster. I don't know about that. But also, if you're in one of those guilds, you don't need my opinion, right? You have a million other experts and giant whale whatevers that can help you out. People might, say, well, she's so good in these comps. It's so specific. You need Reeve. It all needs to be perfect. When you get a little lower, like where I'm at, in like that 30 to 60 range in the rankings, you do see her a lot. She's on these teams with Reeve, or maybe she is alongside Greed, or Iax, or a Ymerit Honora combo. It can be really tricky, but it's not the top meta in any normal form of GVG. It's only a very meta thing at the very, very, very high levels. That is not a reason to pull on this banner, so why would you be pulling on this banner? Enter hero number 2. Alistair's phenomenal. He really is. He's been good from the get. Ronaldo covered him so extensively when he came out. I always was a fan, but Ronaldo kind of showed everybody how good this guy could be from the start. But with the introduction of Semra of Guild Boss 2, he's so perfect there. He's in 2 of the best factions for it. Arbiter is the very best. Watcher's probably, at worst, the 5th best. I would argue probably the 3rd or 4th best. I mean, the top team in the entire world for Fibu, aka Jet, is running Watcher Nightmare, not running Arbiter. Phenomenal, right? There's a lot of things going on in the kit. I'm not going to break down his whole kit, but the key things you need to know. This last passive over here, you can see Noble Debilitation. When reaching full talent stacks, each basic attack inflicts damage reduction. Against bosses, this is literally permanent. You do want to max out this skill to get the maximum damage reduction, which comes out to 30%, just as strong as Volca. It is phenomenal. It's the best in the game. It's completely unconditional against a boss because the talent requires each attack on the same target increases attack speed, stacking up to 5 times. So 5 attacks to the same target, aka the boss. It will always be happening because this effect does last for 5 seconds. You will always be at max stacks. He's always going to go quick, and you will maintain 100% of the time he's alive and attacking 30% decreased damage. That means the damage the boss deals to you, the damage Semra deals to you, is reduced by 30%. This is enormous. No one's arguing it is not. Also, his ultimate places 3 stacks of Radiant Erosion. This is a great way to put out DPS on bosses with very high defense, aka Semra. Deals continuous true damage based on the defense of the inflicted target every 2 seconds, stacks it to 3 times. He throws 3 stacks on. It's really, really nice. That being said, this is not the most reliable thing. It's contingent upon his ultimate. This is the most reliable thing. If you can get him A1, maybe you want to hunt for an A1, this is phenomenal. He is very fast. You can build him very fast. He's got a 2.0 second base attack interval. Remember, against bosses, he's always at full stacks of the effect, so he's always with an additional 150 attack speed. He's blazing quick, and now if you get him A1, every one of those basic attacks has a 15% chance of inflicting 1 stack of Radiant Erosion. These last 10 seconds, he's placing it all the time, because you're going to have this guy at like a 1.0 second attack interval. It's very appealing. Why do I not think you should target him? At the end of the day, in my opinion, unless it is Ardia or maybe like Carnelian, but really I don't think there's any reason to summon on an Ancient Summoning banner the way the meta has evolved, assuming you want to min-max, which is probably why you're watching this video and looking for my advice, unless you're summoning on one of those top banners, which are dictated by the Lord, and Morrigan is not that. Alistair is a great hero. I hope they run him again as a shard summoning event for Christmas like they did last year. That's how all of us got the initial copy. Maybe if they run him again, a lot of people will get A1, or maybe, you know, you'll pick up an A0, or you have picked up an A0, then you'll get an A1. We certainly cannot count on them running that again, so that might be the appeal to pull on this, but it comes with an enormous risk. You're going to have about a 38 to 42% chance you're resetting your Lord Pity, and you're doing it with Morrigan, which you can try to look me in the eyes and tell me you wouldn't be disappointed, but you know you would. That could have been Valoron or Praetus or Ingrid, and you got Morrigan. So what do I really think? Alistair, super duper strong. At the end of the day, if you farm enough gear, if you focus enough on the game, Volca is completely sufficient for the damage reduction. The Radiant Erosion is great damage, but thanks to Kagiri and Lucius and the new stacking fix on the Aegis modes, you don't need as much true damage anymore because the Aegis stage is kind of trivialized. So I just don't think he's this huge important value, even if you see him on super high-end teams, even if he's a lot of fun, even if he's super strong, even if I love to use him, right? I just don't think he's a required unit. I really don't think any of them are. I don't think Ardia is, quite frankly, as unbelievable as she is. The required units, if you want to be effective and efficient and min-max this game, are those lords, the ancient exclusive legendary lords, and you can't compromise your chances by going for a banner like this. So the big answer is clearly no, in my opinion. Who maybe could do yes? A good example, if you pull a lot, if you've got a lot of ancients, you spend a lot, you're that kind of person, and you're on a fresh pity, is it such a risk to pull 40, 50, 60, 70 summons off a fresh ancient pity and go for Alistair? Because you shouldn't be targeting Morrigan, in my opinion, unless you're in one of those crazy high-end guilds, in which, again, you don't need my advice. You're going to be pulling on this banner not for Morrigan, but for Alistair. Then the risk is kind of mitigated. If you pull, you know, if you're pulling for Alistair and then unfortunately on summon number 65 off a fresh pity, you hit a legendary lord and it's Morrigan or it's something undesirable, not a super top unit, you're not really going to lose too much sleep over it if you're that kind of player. So for you guys, if you want to target Alistair, this is going to be as good a time as ever to get him. Now he's on rate up. That's phenomenal. He was officially entered into the pool several months ago, but now he's finally getting a rate up. I say go for it if you're one of those very specific people, but for free to play, low spender, any kind of min-maxer, people that, you know, aren't so overly focused on Guild Boss 2 as well, this is such an obvious skip. That's my opinion. Save those summons. The Nightmare Legendary Lord, the ancient exclusive one, should be coming soonish. What does soonish mean? Could it be November? Sure. Could it be January? Sure. Could it be later? I'd be shocked. I think it's within the next 3 months. Realistically, I would guess Christmas. Could they do Thanksgiving? Maybe. If it goes past Christmas and the New Year, I'd be surprised. And certainly if it goes past the Chinese New Year, end of January, February, when they will do the Sun Wukong Limited that Destin just covered, it won't make it farther than that. So should you summon on this? No, not if you want to get the next crazy Ingrid style hero that's ridiculously broken and OP and so on and so on. There is also a new Esotericist Legendary Lord Mage with dual faction and Infernal. There's crazy stuff coming. Morrigan ain't it. Is she drop dead gorgeous and the hottest hero in the game? That's a fact. Of course she is. Who are we kidding? Not to simp over a character in a video game, but it's a fact of life, and that's the world we're living in. Look at her. She's so sleepy. Zealous, wake her up. But should you pull on her banner when she's on rate up? Hell to the no. If you like my stuff, subscribe, hit the notification bell, click all notifications. That's the easiest, freest way to support me and my channel if you like what we're doing here. Get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you do end up pulling, let me know who you got. I hope you get exactly what you're looking for. Share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you real soon. Bye. Ooh!
Fastidious.